Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Shunting Yard. It is Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, summertime. I don't know what it is these days. I don't
What's
live in
the
the
time?
country anymore. Mr. Wolf, what is the time? I don't know. We're starting with chaos already. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. How is everybody doing? I'm not even looking at the chat. I've started trying to mess around with, sounds and things like that. It's going perfectly well this evening. I am joined by the gracious man himself, Max. Say hello, Max.
Hello.
Hello,
or
Max.
Should I, or should I say Watto? Since according to the real, I'm Hugh Laurie this evening.
Yeah, you're Hugh Laurie this evening. Fantastic. Yeah.
Watto.
We had a discussion behind the scenes of who was Hugh Laurie and who was Mr. Bean, and you draw the short straw, I'm afraid. No, the lads have been doing absolutely brilliantly with the reels, so we want them to keep it up. So props to Charlie and Rob in the chat, please, for those. And as you can see, we have a recurring guest this evening. The first time I believe him and I have been on stream together. Chris from TTTE 120. Chris, thank you very much for joining us again. How the devil are you?
Absolute pleasure. I hope you noticed that I've described myself as the New Hope because I thought I see it, and I'm in beige because I consider myself to be the leader of the Rebel Alliance, not a lackey to Darth Vader.
No.
Reference to one of the reels.
I was going to introduce you as Director Krennic, but then you beat me to it with the New Hope. See, I don't know. I given the amount of people that are falling over to the dark side of TT, we might have to think of a new sort of nickname for you.
You have to consider the fact that OOHO is the imperial spread over the universe, and that NG7 and 009 and O gauge and N and HO and 120.
And those are just the scales I have.
We are the Rebel Alliance.
We are true light. Okay. I mean, or you could say that you're the First Order hiding in the shadows, waiting for the time to pounce. So I don't know. It's literally Imperial versus metric.
Both at the same time.
Both at the same time.
Millimeters to the foot.
Oh God! Don't start that conversation, Max. We're not going to end well if we do that. Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm glad you guys are all right. What are you guys drinking this evening? We'll get these bits over and done with.
I've got a cheeky little 12-year-old Aberlour from the sides of Spey. It's rather sweet. I do like it. I do like my coastal whiskies.
And
cheers,
I'm
Anthony.
On Shipyard IPA.
Ooh, lovely.
Yep. Was on discount, and because it's Portland, Maine, can think of 2-foot gauge while drinking it. Taste the 40.
He's really thinking about his scales tonight, isn't he? Oh, come on. I myself am drinking a local lager, Kozel, which is Slovak for goat. So there you are. But it's a nice, cheap, simple lager here, and it is rather nice, quite honestly. So
is it the goat lager?
It is not.
And
it is not.
And it's Christmas. It's Christmas. It's Christmas Towers.
I know the Coca-Cola advert has been on TV, so legally it's Christmas. But no, Merry pre-Christmas, everybody. We will be revealing later on in the coming days, but there is a Christmas special on the 18th of December. There is a Christmas special. I'm not going to tell you what it is or what is going on or who is involved.
So I'm glad you haven't
get that in your calendars
with Tom's performance at the Merpit Christmas special.
I can't wait to see that. I will hear it. I don't know if it's going to be a seeing or a hearing it. I was hoping they were going to do a video.
I've got two very small lines, and I'm hoping you won't be able to guess who's me, because I tried a number of different voices, and I think I've got one that doesn't sound anything like me. So I'm
okay.
But I've only got
voice actor as well.
tiny.
Maybe I need to add that as a talking point for the Christmas special, and see if anyone can guess it, and then you can tell us the answer live. So there we are. Peachy's the Swedish chef. See, I was going to guess you were going to be one of the judges. You know, the two that are always in the stands together.
Sadler and Waldorf.
Yeah.
Marley and Marley. Marley and Marley. I did try the Muppets accent, and I couldn't do them. I couldn't do any of them.
Good to know. Well, there you are. So a bit of a game for everybody. Spot the Peachy, or hear the Peachy. Let's put it that way. It's a Wind Talkers hearing test. There you are. That's going back if anyone knows that film.
No, I'm just picturing the actual hearing test with the beep, beep, but it's just a Peachy soundbite instead.
Oh, we're already going off the rails today. This is fantastic. So, who have we got in the chat today? Phil is here as always, the stalwart Phil. Thank you very much for joining us. Matt's here as well. Charlie's lurking in the back as well. Ant's joining us. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Tom's Modelling Corner is joining us. Lukash is here. Oliver's joining us as well. Hutch has joined us for one as well. How dare I start a few seconds late? Well, I'm sorry. That's it. I'm done. We've got Black Country Lads here as well. Good evening from Stafford. Good evening from Slovakia. Tom has joined us. He's not at the pub having a curry tonight. Somoli 11 is here as well. We've got plenty. And if you haven't commented yet, please comment. Let us know you're here. Drop a like on the stream. Share it with your friends. Get everybody in. And I will get Phil, Matt, anyone, any of the admins. If you can drop a link to the Discord, come join the fun. We're close to. We're just over 100 members at the moment, and we are growing. So please come and join it. Sharing the modelling hobby with everybody. Pizza's on order, so I'll be there soon. How dare!
But if it's on order, aren't you having it in? You just have it to your screen, to your desk.
He can't eat and type abuse at the same time.
Skill issue.
I take that on a regular basis. Anyway, awesome. What about modelling, guys? What have you been up to this week, Max?
I've started a variety of projects and finished none, which wasn't a wise idea because I'm taking my layout to a show in Rattery on this Saturday. So if anyone knows of the Rattery Little Train Show, I'll be there with my 009 layout Pen Magno.
Neither does Pineapple.
Neither does Oliver jumping straight in there. Love that. I'm not sure Mrs. Buggles Kelly wants to watch this while I have dinner.
That's
well,
not
why
true.
not?
That's not true. he's just worried that she might be so enamoured by my beautiful Christmas tree.
Blinded. Fantastic, Max. Well, hopefully, please take some photos or videos or whatever of your layout on the show that you're at, and maybe we'll get a debrief, probably on Discord, because I hear 2 other guys are taking over next week and it's full. So
yeah.
And I've been taking delivery of materials.
Oh.
6 8x4 sheets of PU foam, 4 lengths of 4-meter aluminium angle, and a whole bunch of foam core carbon fiber, because I'm building a big layout.
I was going to say
with no timber.
With carbon fiber.
You're building a layout without timber.
Yeah.
But also carbon fiber. Has that been done before in a layout? I'm not.
Well, I don't know, but I this year it's been a fantastic year for me. I've done 8 shows, and every show I can pick my layout up myself, but it's been quite handy having someone else to help me.
Mm-hmm.
But each show I've walked in, put my layout on the table, and started putting my stock on, and whilst I watch these huge teams of people rolling great big softwood frames in and putting these old layouts up that look like they've been designed and built the same way as since my dad was doing it back in the 70s. And I thought, do you know what, this can't be the best way of doing it. And one example of why I don't think it's the best way of doing it is Laurie and his gang, his Mechanical Marvels. They had this fantastic display behind me at the NEC. I think it was about 20 boards that were all bolted together of various different little bits of layouts, and it's fantastic. Some really fun but really good work as well. And they got it all. The NEC on the Friday was freezing cold because the big doors are open. There's no heating on, and they set these 20 tables together. Got it all spot on, working perfectly. Had trains running before we all buggered off to the pub. Really good job. The next morning, we rock up at sort of like at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and go for the door, and it was like going into a sauna, because the heating had been on all night. Obviously, because there's a lot of having that cold air, that outdoor air in there the day before. There's a lot of moisture going on, and then all I can see is these mechanical minions going mental around Laurie's big layout, trying to get the stuff to line up again, because nothing lined up. Everything is moved, twisted, swollen. And of course, once they got there, I think they got on their locos running at round about 9:15. But it was a real kick bollock scramble. And then of course, by 24 hours later of intense heating, the thing's dried out now. And so they were tweaking the next day, and you think, why are we still building layouts out of softwood? Softwood frames, I think, are perfectly fine at home. You're bolting them against the wall, and you're fixing things against the wall. But there's so many other materials out there now that don't move as much, that are not so affected by temperature changes or moisture in the air, so and aren't as heavy. So my next big show layout, which I've just had it confirmed, will be premiering at the London show at Ballypally.
Fantastic.
16 foot or 4.4 meters, which is like 15 foot, I think, isn't it?
It's back with the Imperial versus metric already.
Yeah, so 4.4 meters by a meter, and it's going to be one board.
How are you moving it?
Articulated lorry much?
No, because my estimate is 45 kilograms, and I'll be rolling it in on my own.
Well, yeah, but what are you going to transport it in?
When you say rolling, I'm thinking is it a roundy but vertical?
It's just one of those billboards, he's just going to set up one of those billboards
like a
that every
bale.
so often changes.
No, the whole thing's going to be on a trolley. It's going to be hinged so that the whole board lifts up, so that you can go into a Luton box at the top.
Aha, okay.
Because you can actually get a 4.8 meter length in the Luton.
Can you video the first setup at the London show and put it to Thunderbird's music?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Thunderbird 2.
How long is my garage? The little garage I'm putting it in, which is the one we don't use because it's this little old kind of lean-to thing on the side, which needs a bit of work on it really. That's 4.8 meters long, and so this layout will be 4.6. But it's quite narrow. It's only about a meter wide because it doesn't need to be any wider than that. It's TT120.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Wow. Okay, so overkill tail chaser inbound.
Exactly. Except that
wow.
You'll only see the front. You won't see the big storage, roll in, roll out storage out the back.
Gotcha. Yeah. Wow, I really look forward to that. I assume you're going to be documenting the build.
Yeah, but this will be the only sneaky peek that I've ever mentioning it, because I've got to focus on building it. I've got a spreadsheet. I know I need I think I need about 180 hours to build it between now and March. So it's just total focus. I probably will set a camera up or my phone up and video myself while I'm working, and then I'll just put them in a folder. and then I'll make some content from it later.
Fantastic. Well, depending on how good the Wi-Fi is in your shed, we might have to get you in for a night while you've got it there, so you can give us a bit of a sneaky peek update.
That all depends. There's a certain magazine that wants to have it in there in the magazine. So and we've been having a conversation with that particular editor about whether or not it would be nice to just spring it up on everyone.
Well, that's taken my train of thought, because obviously I'm assuming I was thinking of a different magazine.
Maybe not.
I was about to say you're a popular guy. You got to get in there first, you know.
Yeah, true.
Just beating to it. That's all.
There you are. Competition is fierce.
Well, no. I mean, you could probably work it out, Max, because I've already been in BRM and I've got Hornby Magazine have got one in the bag for me, which they'll use as a filler at some point. So there's only one other really big magazine, isn't there?
All is fair in magazines and layout building.
Yeah.
Or whatever the phrase is. No, not that one.
Wow. No, fantastic. I look forward to seeing that on show or before or in sneak peeks or whatever. So very, very intriguing.
You know what I'm like? I can't keep a secret.
This might be your problem. It's
I can keep a secret, but I can't.
A well-known TV detective.
Can't keep the fact that I've got a secret.
Oh, I've got a secret.
You know, a well-known TV detective once said, "It's a gift and a curse." So there you are.
Yeah. What do you want, Ted?
Ted?
My dog. He keeps walking in and out. Where's Mum? She's out with the mates.
She's out. Fantastic. Well, there you are. We've stuck a bit of news in before the actual news. So quickly, before we move on, we've got one or two people that have been doing some modelling. So Oliver's been painting his Fat Controller figure from Tom. Very, very nice. I really need to start picking up stuff for these before I, run out of money. Dave Double M has been working on a Kaiser's KLT 222 problem class. Let me guess, it's been perfectly fine to do.
Still amuses me, that name. Calling it a problem class.
Was it a good locomotive or was it a problem?
The problem is, of course, the loco.
Of course. Hutch has been working on some CADs for 009 and 00, which is a pain, but fun. And then Oliver's, unfortunately, this was not a modelling thing. We will get back to that later, Oliver, don't worry. And then Tom has been working on Matt's West Country 7mm. Thank you. Cool. I think Chris is letting the dog out.
Yeah, guys, Ted needs a tinkle.
Ted needs a tinkle.
So, in answer to the long-standing question, who let the dog out?
It was Chris for a tinkle. Anyway, while we wait for Chris to come back, we're going to start with the news. Sorry, I've always wanted to time that perfectly. I've always wanted to time that perfectly.
I ruined that for you, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I feel awful. I've completely ruined for him.
Although you haven't actually, so if you can tell, usually when we do the news, we're all up on the side, over on the left-hand side. Mm-hmm. We're now down at the bottom, so we shouldn't interfere with the news.
It's quite heavy.
We're all gonna have to start doing this, Yeah. Anyway, so moving forward, while we're waiting for Chris, we will get on with some bits of news that do not concern TT120. We're going to start with Rails of Sheffield and Revolution Trains. So, as you all well may know, Rails of Sheffield opened a new store in the Sheffield train station on Saturday last week, and they had multiple guests, including Pete Waterman, Jules Holland, and there was lots of festivities, etc. But Revolution Trains and Rails of Sheffield have come out with this limited, exclusive Class 180 Adelante 5-car DMU in the East Midlands Railway Intercity livery. which, I mean, if you're an EMR guy, this is absolutely fantastic. But it's 00. It's due Q3 next year, so probably Q4 if not Q1 27, because that's how all pre-orders seem to be going right now. And you can pick it up DCC ready 44995 or DCC sound 54495. Take your pick. Any thoughts on this, lads? Chris has just joined back, so there you are.
it did spark discussions on Adelantes and I forget the other names of the similar variants, and saying, oh yeah, they're not bad. Avantis, that's the one I was thinking. But yeah, they're not bad trains, are they? And I always have to say, well, this is comparing them to a Voyager, though, isn't it? This is really not
you
much.
Can't compare it to a Voyager. You don't compare it to a Voyager.
Well, they're better than a Voyager. Really?
Are they? Did you let the dog out, Chris?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, Dolly's joined me now. Dolly, do you want to say hello?
Literally the dogs.
So there's Dolly.
Oh, hello.
And
Aww.
Ted's down there eating a biscuit.
Oh, hello.
That's enough of those two.
Fantastic. So yeah, there you are. 00 gauge 5-car DMU for you modern modelers coming in.
I think these are fantastic. Actually,
they look brilliant. Yeah, I think it's a good spot.
The detail the Revolution bring out in these things is just next level, and I just wish we'd had something. We had that one day. We'll have something like that in my scale, but yeah, they're spot on.
Class 180s were awful when allocated to the Cotswold line.
We're talking about pretty models.
Pretty models, not the real thing. It's not a Voyager, I know.
Yes, we remember our awful travelling experiences and then recreate it at home in miniature.
On the carpet. Wait, no.
The carpet is no place for a model.
Moving on. So, Dapol have announced a personalised Christmas 7-plank wagon available in either N gauge, 00 or O gauge. You're looking at £11 for the N, $15.20 for the 00, and $55 for the O gauge. And they're available in, I would say, it's not 3 different liveries, but you can get 3 different emblems. So you've got a Father Christmas, a train, and Bar Humbug with a Santa hat on it. And you've got 10 characters that you can put there to personalize it with your name or whatever you want. So have at it.
I do wonder what's the craziest submission they've had in those 10 characters, though.
Well,
what's the limit? Being cheeky.
Well, I'd be interested to know, after all of the orders are come in, if they would like publicly put out a list of the rejected the rejected numbers. I would like to see that.
Or it's one for the chat. What 10 characters would you put on a Dapol wagon?
There you are. Max has put a question in for everybody. What 10 characters would you put in for this personalized wagon? And we will reveal all at the end of the news. There we go. So they've also released some other Christmas wagons like they do every year, available in 00 and O gauge. So you can get a ventilated Christmas pudding ale or a ventilated Knoll Christmas ale van for $13.43 as a recommended retail price, with weathered option at $14.67 and an O gauge version at $57.34. Again, recommended retail $59.74. These are available at your local stockists to pre-order. Whether these will get sent out before Christmas, they say they will be. But...
Oh gosh, imagine if they're not.
We'll see.
I mean, these amuse me because, like in some sort of wagon livery slot machine, you've got the combination. Well, we know that beer goes well on wagons. Yes, that does. And we know Christmas to go. What about Christmas beer on a wagon? It's just everything anyone could ever need.
Yeah. And what are the Christmas colours? Well, we've got red, and we've got white, and then should we have green? Oh no, let's have Christmas pudding brown.
Yeah, it does seem that. I think particularly the O gauge ones, they can't stray from. Well, in this case, it's Christmas bauxite. Other times it's just regular bauxite, but yeah.
It's
I've
reindeer.
noticed
It's reindeer brown. Come
that.
on.
Reindeer brown, of course. I'm going to think of that the rest of the month. What paint are we putting this in?
Reindeer
brown.
brown.
British Railways reindeer brown, or LNER, the earlier reindeer brown.
I know they're bizarre, but they will sell though, won't they?
They're going to sell.
absolutely.
They're going to sell. I'm very tempted to start email my my siblings before they come and visit and be like, here, quick.
But there's no TT. There's no TT.
There is
for
no
Haunted Christmas
TT.
Wagon.
From
Something for
Depot.
next year.
From Depot, not yet. No.
Not yet. Not yet.
Just
we'll
in
get
general.
there. We'll get there.
Something for next year.
Something for next year. Something for next year. So this is the first of the newer things that I think is quite exciting. And Chris, thank you very much for letting me know about this, because I had no idea until you mentioned it. So TMC have partnered up with DCC Concepts to create another conductive wheel cleaner across multiple scales. So I know that the Gauge Master one has existed for quite a number of years, but I haven't seen anybody else produce one. I know that Woodland Scenics did. They've got that oscillating one that doesn't really sit on the track, but I think these are fantastic. So you can pick them up for the 4mm scales, 4mm to the foot scales. I'm assuming ON30 sort of doesn't count with that. S doesn't, but I'm saying.
Well, I'm intrigued as to how these work. Is it just the width of the brush that compensates for the scale? The gauge,
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, like, for example, the TTN 009 one, the brush is about 5-6 mil wide, so it kind of covers the gauge, and the brass strips it sits on also means that you can put it on those two gauges quite easily. But you can also, I don't know if you see those black screws on the side. It means that you can actually, you don't have to have this on your rail. You can power directly to those screws because they go into the brass strip. They wrap it up as well so that you can have two for a longer logo. Or I think there's a pack of spare brushes because it's a super soft brush. I think it's softer than most that I've seen before.
Okay.
Just to try and help with that. Obviously, rubbing a brush like that, if you did it for long enough, you're eventually going to possibly do some
wear down the axle.
Yeah,
right.
I've never liked
that. But they're good. They're certainly really good for stripping off. If you're a weatherer, you've got either paint over your wheels, and you give them a little rub up and down until it breaks to makes contact, and then you're off and running. I think they're brilliant. They I think the spares pack, there are also sort of like spacers, so that, and I think it's probably more relevant to the bigger scales like the O gauge, so that you've got spaces between them, so you don't have to buy 10. You could buy 4 or whatever it is in for O gauge, and then you have there's like a 2-inch spacer between them to sort of space them out, and then obviously you can link them up as well by putting wires between them. I think they're what was really, it didn't surprise me, but what surprised my employers, TMC, was the fact that the TTN 009 version outstripped us in the first week, double the sales of everything else.
Yeah, it was gone, completely gone.
So absolutely outstripped. It's been remarkable, but and when I look, obviously I can go hunt down and look at that data because obviously I'm on the sales team. And I can see, I'm thinking, oh, wow, we've got X amount of orders from TT. No, it's not. There's a big chunk of it, but probably about 50% is of those is TT. But there's the N-Gage and the 009 guys are buying this as well because there hasn't been something like this. I mean, I'm sure there was an N-Gage. I'm sure there was an N-Gage one from someone at some point, but I don't know how available that is these days. But yeah,
I think it's great
to get my hands on one.
No, I think this is fantastic. As I said, the only one I know of previously is the Gauge Master one, and I know that's been around for a while. So having a new set of these out that hopefully stay in production for a while, I can see these being very, very popular. And honestly, I think this is a good thing to buy for for new people to the hobby as well. To have something like this, it's very easy instead of having to stress about picking a loco up, manhandling it, putting it in a cradle, cleaning it, etc. Just a quick blast on one of these is enough to get you going and then get you back running, which I think is fantastic. So
Actually, also,
sorry, carry on.
Going off what Yantlet Creek says, do you think this is a reflection of how hard it is to clean smaller wheels? Yeah, it's saying about the popularity of the TT and N-gauge one. The smaller the gauge, the more critical it is to have your wheels clean.
Yeah.
So that's quite useful for that.
Dave says I have a Trix N-gauge one and it's naff. Well, there you are. Get your orders in quickly because they seem to be shipping off fast.
One thing I wanted just to highlight is how soft the brush is, because obviously in our workshops at TMC where we're doing a lot of spraying and we're having to process these orders and make sure that what goes out is QC tested and the wheels are clean, all that kind of thing. Some of the older ones, they're like, I would never put my wheels on them. The brushes are so hard and so stiff.
Yeah.
You think, God, you just want to just strip them, do you? But no, I think this is quite well worked out by the DCC concept
I think
guys.
these are great.
Yeah.
I think these are fantastic. So there you are. You can pick up I'm going to say this is the 4mm sizes. Twin pack 25.95 recommended retail. Twin pack is 51.95. The O gauge is 39.95. TTN 009 was 23.95. I believe they are still they're on order, so you can go to TMC and order it, but you'll be waiting for 23.95.
Shouldn't be waiting too long. We've got a batch in this week, but they were already gone for the pre-orders.
They're gone. Yeah.
So we're now waiting for another batch.
There you are. And then spare brushes and those spaces, 22.95. I think this is great. I think it's a step in the right direction. So props to TMC and DCC Concepts for bringing something out. Next, we got a big thing.
Big little thing.
Big little thing from Bow Water Models, Aventur, and Rapido. Max, do you want to give us a little bit of a lowdown on this?
Yeah, is it Aventur? So we had the original announcement from Rapido, which was the Diana, a Care Stewart side tank that worked in the Welsh quarries. But most of the class or the derivatives of that had shorter tanks. So Rapido have made a freelance version, the shorter tank, Sirdar, and then this is the next one on from this. So a couple of Sirdars were built for South Africa. So I believe it was absorbed by South African Railways in the end. But yeah, the nice cool way to see a ready-to-run model of a South African prototype.
Yeah, I think this is fantastic, and I believe it has the same. It's completely the same as the rest of them. So it has the interchangeable chassis. So if you want to buy just the bodies or something like that and have multiple switches, it's completely compatible with that. But to see South African Railways getting some love, I think is fantastic, and I hope it improves. I honestly do. So Hilton is absolutely beaming with this. He proper screamed in our group chat of finally some love. So,
he's proper chuffed about it.
He's proper chuffed about it.
It wasn't the South African 009 we were all thinking of, but it's nice to see it nonetheless.
Yes.
Maybe it'll go with it one day. Yeah,
maybe one day.
Buy these to send a signal that this is what we want. We want South African in 009.
Yes. So this is the caveat with this. So on Bow Water Models website, it's in a pursuit of interest state. So they have opened it up for deposits. They're asking for deposits, and they will gauge as to how many people have shown an interest as to whether or not they go ahead with production of this, which I'm assuming is going to go out the door anyway because people buy everything these days. So you've got a deposit of £25, and the recommended retail price for this is $139.95 DC and $179.95 DCC. So I think this is fantastic. I can't wait to see more.
But yeah,
Shall we see what's next?
If you're interested, get your order in, because
Get your order in. Surely get your order in.
Need the numbers to make it happen. Don't hesitate.
He did, but if you watched his latest video, he's admitted he has a problem. Great segment. If you haven't seen Hilton's latest video, go and watch that after this. It's brilliant. So,
Ooh, wow.
Chris,
that?
I need to extend some sincerest apologies because I had already because we'd already had this discussion before that weekend that these were announced. I had already made my mind up after we were saying we wanted to get you on as soon as possible that we were going to dedicate a significant portion of time on a stream to this launch and future launches. So I completely left it out last week because we would have spent too much time talking about it and it would have just completely blown out the water and we would have missed all the little juicy secrets that go along with it.
But I wanted 2-stream coverage.
See, always looking for more. Always looking for more.
Well, why don't you rattle through this lot and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Well, you say rattle through this lot. I've got each of them set up in a row so we can talk about it sequentially. I've thought about this.
So is this going to be like the longest news section ever?
No, we're going from the news straight. We're doing something that we don't usually do. We're going from the news to the topic.
You make it sound so simple, so straightforward.
It's not going well so far. The guest is pushing back. So this is the news that TMC along with Hellion have been tinkering away in the background with Chris here to figure out what is missing from TT120, and that has come up with Mark IIs, which I think have definitely been missing from the TT range, and there are 9 different packs, and
9 packs,
four individuals, which we'll go into in great detail in a few moments as to what liveries there are. We won't spoil anything in the next few seconds, but in a nutshell, the artworks look fantastic. I can't wait to see the EPs and the prototypes. You can pick up the singles for $44.50, and the 4 packs are £179 each. So,
while we're on the price, I've had a lot of people sort of, been very clever in using their calculator and trying to work out. Well, hang on. I could buy 4 singles for, that's for £178 or whatever it is. It's £1 cheaper. Well,
okay,
but you go, okay, but you're missing the point. The whole point to doing this is not to sell you 4 single blue-grey TSOs. It's so that you buy matched packs. But if they want to buy 4 single TSOs then and save themselves £1.
Well, if they're going to be tedious about £1, let them be tedious about £1.
For the £1, will they get a fancy box for all 4?
No, they'll have 4 individual boxes that they will have to store and lose and tatter individually.
I mean, the thing is that people think that it's all just a basic equation of like 4 times £44.50 is cheaper than £179, but this is not actually how these things are costed. What it creates that 4-pack is an immense amount of research and an effort and consideration to get the right running numbers, to get the right matched train, and so these will work together with like particularly the ones. Packs 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, where they can double up to become an 8-pack. That's been a lot of effort. So that costs you another £1. Basically, the fact that you're buying a matched train, you're buying a researched, correct matched train.
Yeah. This is how it.
If we were just shoving 4 the same number, the same type, the same tooling. Coach in a 4-pack, then it would be cheaper to buy it than buying 4 individual ones. But that's not what we've done. But Most people seem to understand that. There's one or two people who just, I don't know, on social media particularly, just can't really quite work that out or haven't worked it out. Anyway, carry on.
No, I think I absolutely great point. Honestly, great point there. I mean, for the sake of a quid, what there are some rivet counters in the world, aren't there? Like, it's just another hunt for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it is a really
no,
interesting approach to these, because rather than just a coach or a collection of coaches, these products are trains. You are buying
Yes,
a
it's
train.
a train.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I'll let you get on to more about the odds and ends and things like that in a few moments. But I think the entire idea of this, as we've discussed before, it personally, is that there's already stuff that's either here already or on the way that we know is coming that perfectly suit this. So it's just a complement of what's already there, maybe something that should have been done in the first place and is being brought to market now. I think these are going to fly out
As of
wells.
I think as of this week, as of this week, when the EWNS 37 lands, because they're already at Hornby, they haven't made them out to the retailers yet. There is something available, or has been available, to pull everything that we've produced. I mean, let alone the stuff that's in the pipeline.
Amazing.
There you go.
Evening, Aaron, or morning, Aaron. Thank you very much for joining. Yes, they do look lovely. As I said, I can't wait to see the engineering prototype. So, these are the first 5 packs available. We'll go through these ones first. So you've got Eras 6 for the London Midland, 7 and 8 for Western Intercities, for pack 2 and pack 3. So if you want to, right there, you have an 8-coach train. You have an 8-coach train for Era 7 and 8 for your Western Main Line.
Yeah, and your Eastern Main Line.
And your Eastern Main Line. This is fantastic.
The our thoughts behind the Blue Greys, let's call them. Pack 1, that's the first production batch of Mark IIs. So those numbers are the first batches of Mark IIs, which later got called the Z because the Mark IIAs turned up and they wanted and they were different because they are what's the earlier braking system? Is it the vacuum or the air? I get mixed up.
A vacuum.
The vacuum. So they're
or vacuum, as they the drivers call it.
Right, vacuum. Now, so it means that now, okay, it's only a 3 or 4 year period, but these were pulled by steam locos in BR dark green before the diesels turned up. These
don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's something
things,
I don't see on layouts that often, but yeah, steam with blue-grey coaches.
London Midland, right? You've got black 5s, and although it's a very, very poorly kept secret, we know black 5s are coming, which we're not exactly sure when. I'm guessing April. Will be announced for pre-order. But also the I can't remember which coronation it is they've got, which Duchess it is, but we're sure that Duchess pulled these as well. Not regularly, but there you go.
No, but it happened once.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, it happened more than that. But I think it's the main thing pulling them at that point in the last few 60s were basic black 5s. Yeah, Tim Allen said. If you guys don't know Tim Allen is someone who's quite. He's helped me on a few shows, but he also helps out on. He does a lot of work on the forum, and he's all he wants is a black 5. He just wants to stop banging on about it. But anyway, that's a forum in joke.
There you are.
So that's the pack ones. Now, obviously, also these were likely being pulled. They were being pulled by diesels as well before we pushed on. But and it would have been the very early full blue, small yellow end kind of stuff, obviously. But we've got one of those coming out, which is the Barham in the Class 50. Definitely was pulling these numbers up the London Midland 9. And there's a lot of people in TT 120. There's a lot of people in Model Railway who don't mind, as long as it's the right colour, let's crack on with it. So you've got people like with the early 37. We don't know if an early 37 ever did pull any of these, but no one's going to shoot you if you get the early blue 37 and pull along with them.
I don't know. They're complaining about a pound.
It could appear after the original traction failed.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
And of course,
the
thoughts behind 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Well, 4 and 5. I mean, a lot of people thought that what we were doing in the background with Hellion was just to support their Deltics. Well, if we're honest, there's only packs 4 and 5 to be pulled by Deltics. Prototypically, these are the Get Carter train, as we think of it, going up to Newcastle, and the West Coast Rail Tour stuff, which is pulled by the stuff that's been preserved. So 3 out of 9 packs, 6 out of 9 packs are really for Hornby stock. So this is not supposed to be just propping up Hellion. This is about propping up the scale. This is about supporting the scale as a whole.
And I think it's doing that. I think it's going to do that.
Thank you. 2 and 3,
both actually. Yeah.
2 and 3 will obviously be being pulled by again 50s predominantly and 47s. We're pretty sure we know the 47 is on the Hornby list. We don't know when it's arriving. No doubt they will do an early blue. No doubt they'll do a big logo, as they've done with the 50s. So you've got Era 7, early blue 50s, Era 8, big logo 50s. The coach stock didn't change. Pushing on, obviously, Little Sam from down south. Do you know what? I was looking at the data on a Saturday morning at the NEC to see who was ordering. First order in off the blocks.
Of course it was.
Of
course it was. I had a little joke with him a few days ago, because we were talking about the stream and we were having you on and we were talking TT120, and your video came out, and then must have been 30 seconds later he had a video out as well, and he was trying to make it out like he had no idea what was coming and everything like that. And I'm like, you can't pull the wool over my eyes, mate. Like, come on, I knew that was coming. Come on. So, hello, Sam. By the way, if you're listening to us while you're driving to work tomorrow morning or this morning,
he messaged me earlier. They're going to be watching it tomorrow because they're recording. I think they're still putting things together for their Christmas show.
Yeah, he said to me he wouldn't be joining tonight, and he's a bit gutted because they've got some bits they need to sort out. So hello, Sam. Yeah. Everybody say hi to Sam in the chat.
And I made good my promise that I'd mention Sam, but I can't remember the name of the other person at MERP. Because
there is one, isn't there? Is there?
Yeah, there's another guy. I met him at the NEC. He seemed to be really nice. He brought his son. I think his son's name's Lenny, who was a really charming young man who was really intrigued with what I was doing with TT120, and was so well behaved and was so polite that I offered that they could use my space as a hub where they could leave all their stuff, so that Dad didn't have to be a pack horse when they went around this huge show.
Oh, I love that.
And then of course this Monday's MERP chat was a little bit about the NEC, and the other guy, I can't remember his name, mentioned all the friends that he met and all the people that he got to meet at the NEC, and apparently I'm not on the list. I'm not on the friends list.
Well, yeah, I got to meet James, so yeah.
Oh no!
Like who are you? You're not my friend. You're just some git I met once.
Well, there you are. You're the git we keep having back.
I think he was just taken with the moment of getting that trophy.
There it is.
Yeah.
And also maybe a little bit ashamed that he forgot Tom's toilet that they've made for him.
Oh no, that's not good.
No, but
that's what I've left off the news.
That should have been in the news.
That's what I've left off the news. Tom's toilet. I'm so sorry, Tom. By the way, amazing thing. By the way, as I mentioned, I think we need to get some. You need to get some graffiti on that for sure. like dirty shunter or something. Somebody needs to graffiti the crap out of that back bit above the hobbit hole. You know, like a good little southern boy lives here. Oh, fantastic! So yeah, look, I saw
Back to the
these,
packs.
and this is what caught my eye when I saw the Era 8 Network Southeast packs. I instantly went, I might have an in here. I genuinely might have an in here, because it's what I remember. You know, this is what I remember, and I think doing it, if I wanted to do a tail chaser or even just a larger layout in my current status, I can't do it in 00. You know, I can't reasonably do it in 00, but I could do a fold up TT120 roundy without an issue. You know, and Engage doesn't interest me at all. So I'm not saying no, and I'm not saying yes, but these have got my eye. So, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised Sam was the first one in there. I genuinely am not surprised.
James, can I just highlight something that might be relevant to you and to other people who are thinking like you? These are going to sell out. The Network Southeast are going to sell out.
Oh,
I know.
bit of panic, yeah.
Right. Now
it's not gonna panic me into buying.
Now
it.
remember, but remember, if you do a pre-order, you're under no obligation to pay, and you can get to the and actually it would be okay if by the end of it a few people cancel, because then we'll actually have something on the shelves to sell. Because how we're looking at the moment, a week and a half in, with 18 months to go.
Is there no? I mean, I was going to touch on this later on after we'd got through, you know, some other bits of the thing. But is there no obligation or possibility on you guys just to simply go, we're going to need more?
Let's talk about that.
Let's get
talk
that
about
later.
that
I
later.
think. I think we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Because I think we're gonna. I think that's definitely going to be a thing. But let's move on. So Network Southeast, I'm guessing, was a no-brainer. I'm guessing absolute no-brainer, like that it needed to be done. Were there any reservations about it?
Yes, not from me.
Wow.
Again, this is something. Well, let's just finish with the packs.
Yeah, we'll finish.
and then we'll
with the
talk
packs,
about
and
the
we'll
ins
get
and
on.
outs of how we made this happen.
Yes, exactly. So we've got Network Southeast with 2 packs. So again, you can create yourself a full 8-coach train with. I'm assuming these are all different branding numbers. So proper authentic there. And then you've got regional railways in 8 and 9, right up to Era's 10, 11 rail tours with the West Coast. So absolutely fantastic offerings coming up here. Honestly.
Going back quickly back to the NSE one very quickly.
Yep.
So that makes up the Exeter train. All right. So that makes the big intercity Exeter train. What's missing from it is a Mark 1 buffet, or the Mark 2 mini buffet, which was different to the Mark II. So we were thinking about doing a Mark II buffet for this, as we have in the Blue Grey, but it's wrong, and it would mean another tooling for one item. So at this stage, you've got to look at the numbers, and you've got to look at how these things are going to work out. And what I'm hoping is that people will buy these, and then they'll maybe, I don't know. I know Sam doesn't do it anymore, but maybe get a Mark 1 made up, or scratch built. Or
he's going to do. He's going to end up.
Got to do something for the modelling.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to try and get absolutely everything right. But what we've absolutely aimed at is trying to get as much as we possibly economically get right.
So you say about the Exeter set. So these would have gone right by where I live now.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah, so
that's what I usually got.
The Mark II-B TSO is it's got noticeable differences to the Mark II-A TSO T.
Amazing.
I suppose, is there any of the singles that you could convert, or?
Well, I mean, it's
anything that lends itself to that.
One. There is a micro buffet, and you could muck about with it. That's the individual's decision. It's not something that we're going to sort of try.
Oh yeah, that's what I was referring to. Is there any one of these that lends itself to the cut?
And of course, early on when there were swap overs, would have had blue grey amongst that mix,
Mhm.
but I don't think they ever got the Mark IIA BSO. I don't think they did a BSO buffet. I think it was a TSO buffet. Is that right? Someone will tell me. I've either got
Somebody
that right
in
or-
the chat.
Yeah,
Not
Bruce
really.
is looking like the expert on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bruce, teach us, please.
Mark II nerd. Um,
So let's have a quick gander at the singles. So we've got a TSO in Eastern, a TSO in Western.
Yep.
Um,
They're obviously predominantly as boosters for the two big
for the
blue
for the
grey
packs,
sets.
yeah. Which I
The
think
single
is
micro
definitely
buffet
fine.
really is a booster for the blue grey era 6, but they were stuck in with other stuff, and
You could fit it in.
yeah. But that maroon, that FK, that was something that I had to fight hard for.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't think they made many. I think it might have been about 20 or so. It's a real
Right.
niche, and everyone kept telling me it's niche. No one needs it. No one wants it. It's niche. And I said, well, hang on a second. When they came out, they were turned into they were first class. They were brand new. This was the latest thing. So these were almost, I would say, the prototypes. Someone might say that's wrong. And they thought, well, they may as well use them. So they stuck them on the Eastern region,
Yeah.
with Mark Ones, and they became the poshest coach on those trains. And so I said, look, I know. I won't say exactly, but I know how many Easterner sets got sold, and they were all out there with a composite brake and a couple of composite. There's nothing different to go with out there.
Yeah.
If we bring out these in this number that our minimum quantity is, that is less than 1% of the sets that were sold that this could go with. So if 1% of those people have bought those sets, buy this, they will sell out. And guess what? Have a guess what is the biggest selling individual item?
The FK.
Yeah,
It's so
I
niche.
was.
It's so niche. People love it.
Well, I was pleased to see that because many years ago when I had the 00 train set, I bought the Bachmann one because I thought it was ideal. It was something a bit different. You
Mhm.
didn't have to have the whole train like you do with the later eras, and you can run it with the steam.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
It's
perfect.
pretty with a little yellow stripe down there.
Yeah, I mean, what's not to love?
You can see the difference when it's moving past you.
So look, I think I've said it again. I said it when we were in private discussion. I think this is a launch that has been needed. I think maybe this is something that should have come out earlier, if not from TMC or Hellion or whoever, but from predominant other companies who were trying to invest in the hobby because of things like the 40-year rule. And I think we discussed this beforehand. We were talking TT120 that the 40-year rule or targeting your audience should have been the predominant trail for getting TT120 out to the masses. And sticking to age-old guns of what sells in one scale doesn't necessarily work when introducing another. It seems to have worked, but I would have thought differently.
We should possibly be a little bit careful on giving Simon Kohler too much of a kick in, because he did actually manage to bring this thing out. But the guy, he's not even my generation, let alone your generation.
Yes.
Right. And the modelling, the modelling market has moved. It has moved on, but most of the people, I guess, Hornby at the time when they brought this out, they had no data. They didn't know who was going to buy this. They know that the mum and dad who walk into a model railway shop or a big department store buy a Flying Scotsman or a Mallard for Timmy. And that's why it's always been there. There's always been, what's the word they've got, phrase for it, isn't it? Which basically means that there's always a Mallard, there's always a Flying Scotsman.
Yeah. I mean, it'll sound like more of a criticism than it is, but what I noticed with the initial launch and sort of the first bits that came after that is that rather than the 40-year rule on the prototype and what we see, it's the 40-year rule on model trains. So it was sort of bringing back the buzz of the train set with the
Yeah.
express locos
Yeah.
from the 80s.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean,
No, I
personally,
get
whether
it.
that's for everyone.
they hardly have
Um,
made, you know, and I've had candid conversations with Martin Weaver, who was kind of left holding the baby a bit, well, very much so, I think. But that, again, that's not Simon Kohler's fault that happened. It's other forces at work. But you know, he quite candidly says there are things that they should have done. They you know, he said, in hindsight, we should have done an earlier Mark II, because they brought out the Mark II F first. They offered up the Mark II E and F at the same time for pre-order. I think the Mark II Es will probably arrive sometime next year. I know Rails seem to think they're going to get some in January. Maybe they will. They've got a special rep.
Yeah.
We don't. We're not as big as Rails, so we get a area manager. But even so, those E's and F's, they're not really that much different from each other. I mean, the people who are really into their Mark IIs will probably argue the difference, but I think physically and from the outside, there's not a massive amount of difference.
Well, was also the range influenced by what information they'd already gathered from more recent 00 products? So, because they made the E's and F's in 00.
Yeah, I
this...
heavily suspect so.
I mean, but it's not always a case of. I don't think. Well, now I've had a proper, not just peek behind the curtain, but drag behind the curtain and a good showing round. It's not just about what has sold well. It's also about what's up to date when it comes to CAD, what's up to date in research.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So although
what's
they
the
know
best thing to invest in?
Although they know that something might have been very popular for another company, they've got to look at that and go, yeah, that would sell really well, but we've got research and we've got the exterior detail CAD for this.
Yeah.
This is our next most economical crack at it. And they've made some odd choices, but some of those choices, again, it's very easy to look back and go, why are you doing that? But when a decision for doing it has inevitably had to be made, would likely have been made sort of like 12 months ago, or longer, when they had a different idea of what they thought may or may be working. They since realised that it may be not going to be such a hit or such a good idea, but they've already committed to it.
This is hindsight being 2020, isn't it? You know, you can make your decisions based on what you've got and what you think the market is going to do, and then you have to sit and deal with what happens later on. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss.
And I think
that's
also
the way of business.
They had a bit of reflection that when they started all of this. Obviously, I'm talking about Hornby, though we were talking about the Helden stuff. When they started all this,
in general,
when they started all this, they gave out a big catalogue full of all the things that are going to be coming, and lots of images and lots of sort of SKUs, and people struggled with particularly the new people coming to the hobby who hadn't realised how things have changed in the past 10 years when it comes to manufacturing. We're going, well, I've got to wait 2 years for this stuff, and so from that they seem to pull back and go, right, well, we'll just announce this when we're 3 months away or 4 months away or something.
Getting very close.
And I think even Pico did that with the fact that they announced their 7 Black Wagons, which didn't appear for nearly 2 years, and then since then they've gone, right, okay, well, we've got so much grief for that, we're not going to tell them anything until it's going to almost appear in a few months' time, and I kind of get that. And I think also there's that kind of there's also a consideration of, is somebody else going to sneak us to it if we
it's always been that way. You want to state your claim and put others off, and that doesn't work anymore.
My argument with these ones were it's not like the 00 market where you've got 10 or 15 guys who are all up and running and ready to fighting for every little 00 morsel. I think we can announce these, and there's so many other things out there that other people can do, that if another company came along and went, do you know what, I fancy a bit of that, they wouldn't have to pick this because there's so much other low-hanging fruit. So now, I'm not frightened about being gazumped by someone with another set of Mark IIAs. Right? It would be ridiculous if anybody brought them to the market. Everyone would go, well, why? What's the point?
It's, yeah.
You know, and they would miss out on an opportunity, a manufacturing slot to bring out something else that would sell just as well, as long if it was different.
I mean, my impression from the initial long list was it was trying to give confidence. This wasn't going to be a range that was going to be 3 locos, 2 coaches, and well, we'll see how it goes
Maybe
after
we'll do
that.
something later. Yeah,
it would be
more,
no.
We're going to drip
This is
feed
happening.
you for a while, and which I think in my own hindsight, because I gave TT a bit of a bashing when it was first announced. I honestly thought it was going to crash and burn. Not gonna lie, I really thought it was going to crash and burn, and I'm honestly pleasantly surprised, and I am glad to have been proven wrong, because honestly, I've seen young people getting into it. Anthony's mentioning here as well. There's a branch line set for 89 quid, a model railway for 89 quid.
Yeah,
right in time for Christmas. Absolutely fantastic. The amount of kids that are going to have that under their tree this year. I can imagine they've sold entirely well.
They have just flown off the shelves, and I think they've taken. Well, I know I won't, because I know Martin Weaver will probably either watch this back later if he's not watching it live now.
Do I say hello?
You can say hello, Martin.
Hello, Martin.
He might be having on a little mini watch while he's at the gym, but. Yeah, they're stunned. They're very pleased with how it's been received.
Yeah, it should be.
And I think he kind of mentioned something about, I've got all this marketing to come up, and I've got no bloody product left because they're all bloody selling. And I said, shut up, moaning. You've got cash in the bank.
Yeah. You can worry later. Yeah. So I think Somoli here has also got it as well as the Terriers as well. I think have been a great reception. For the TT120 range, and from what I understand, they've absolutely knocked that out of the park as well. So
yeah. The little Terriers and this Normandy have actually been quite a nice boost for the Pico 7 planks as well. I bought all of when I heard about the branch line set coming out. I took a punt and I said, right. I phoned up Pico. I said, right. I want all of your 7 plank SR wagons, please. I bought the bloody lot.
Thank you. May I have 12?
Yeah. We've got. I think we've got 2 left on the shelves at the moment. But since then, I think I was speaking to Ian Kay, the Northern rep from Pico. They worked out that maybe, although it was a very, very poor seller at the very beginning, because everyone was like, "Who's going to buy an SR wagon?" So the SR and the Western region wagons didn't sell well at the beginning, as far as I'm aware. They're not for the retailer that I work for. But
it's what loco do you put behind them? So it sort of goes back to sorry.
Yeah, but there's a market for the collector, as we have found with the private owner wagons, which I think are now well into the 30s from various retailers, and lots of retailers have jumped on board. But they're not, including Tom. Tom's done a cracking little Buggles Kelly one, and
he's got a few, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's announced an old AW Dry. The
AW Dry and Co. Yeah,
beautiful duckhead blue, or it
looks fantastic.
But you can pre-order them now from Buggles Kelly Station.
He's not here to hear this.
You're on commission.
But it is the kind of thing, and no offence to Tom. Tom is he's a one-man band, or him and his missus, start-up, small retailer, not a lot of resources other than his own efforts and skill. But it's not that bad an investment for him, because the collectors will grab them and they'll immediately wipe your face. So you build it. How it seems to work with Pico is, I don't know what it is like with this. I mean, it certainly happened with me when I placed my first order as an individual before I joined TMC. They arrived on the Friday, and I was told I was going to get the bill on the Monday. And my wife, when I told my wife, I've just promised 1,500 quid to Pico in Devon, and she said, "What?" I said, "Don't worry." I said, "Don't worry. I'll have it back by the end of the weekend." She went, "What?" She literally, and we announced them, I think, on the Friday morning on Malk's Models website, and I get nothing from Tom Free apart from hugs. By I think around about 5 hours in, they paid for themselves.
Wow.
And by the end of the weekend, because Malk's held some back because I wanted to sell some at a show, by the end of the weekend they're all gone. So come Monday, not only was the money to pay Pico, I actually had the money in my pocket. So
see, there you are,
completely
proving me wrong here, all you consumers.
Now you can't do it once a week.
No?
So I'm doing my little silly.
No?
I'm doing my silly little waggle once a year, and that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough to keep people happy, I think. But the collector market isn't big enough in TT120 yet to really
Watch
support.
the space.
But it's great for the small little 7-plank wagons, and as soon as Pico actually bring out the vents, the LMS vents, and which were covered in private owner stuff, much more I think than the LNER stuff, and obviously the 16-ton. I know there were private owners in that, but I think most people are just going to buy them in grey because
it's a real
wasn't there millions of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's obviously not just 16-ton minerals, but yeah, there's the book for reference, the British Railway Wagons, the first 500,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, the diagram of the 16-ton mineral, there's over 200,000 of them. So I think
are you making 200,000 of them?
If people buy them, there we go. There's a good target.
There you are, 200 grand.
That's something else.
Cheers to that.
I think something else
cheers to that.
That people don't. Yeah, cheers. The thing I think that people don't quite consider, particularly the new people who have come to the hobby, that that if enough of us shout on Facebook that a manufacturer should, like Pico, should jump. And I think sometimes they either don't know or they lose sight of the fact that a lot of the companies, specifically Pico, are small and smaller than their brand name might suggest, or the brand awareness might suggest. And they've got their responsibilities to their employers and their employers' families and those mortgages and all that kind of stuff. That when they do something, it has to work. And a lot of these things can be very risky. All you need is one clickbaiting social media YouTuber to decide that day he's going to
not us.
He's going to give it a kick in. That all of a sudden, and those irresponsible YouTubers who do that stuff, it has an effect on sales, and those sales actually have effect on not just retailers but the manufacturers and all the people around that support them. And some of them I do honestly think they should be sort of brought to answer for it. It's frustrating that just because someone has hundreds of thousands of followers, like who are just blind sheep who say yeah, that person's right. It's like there's a lot of people a little bit nervous about calling out kind of irresponsible behaviour.
I mean, it was a topic that was touched on earlier in a different stream, I think. But yeah, I've naturally read it with things relating to my workplace, and now I start seeing it with others. And it's just, you read these comments, you think that affects a real person. Real people are behind all of these models.
Yeah. It was the mental health stream.
Yeah.
Because we it's 100% true, and it's also because businesses are taking a risk with the models that they're bringing out, and right now with TT120 as a scale in general, even more so. In 00, I think in 00 or in N, you can take a bit more of a gamble because there's a broader base of people that are there. That it's more established over the last period, over the last bit of time. I know TT is not new because we had TT as a scale in the 60s, 70s.
Oh no, we
when
don't
it first
talk
came.
about
We don't talk about that. But the fact that it's relatively new in the sense that people are still coming up, it's more of a risk. It's more of a risk trying to bring out something that might be niche or might be specific to one place. So I mean, I don't want to say playing it safe with the Mark II releases, but I don't think it's playing it safe. I think it was still a gamble, and I think it's a gamble that's paid off.
I mean,
well, we do hope so, because this has been a massive commitment from TMC, and from we have a very much engaged with TMC investor who we owe a lot to for doing this. But this is this is our gamble. This is this isn't so much on the forums. People saying, "Oh, this is a real gamble for Helgen." No, it's not a gamble for Helgen because we're paying for it.
The TMC are taking the brunt.
What? How do you think this works? If it was Helgen's gamble, everyone will be selling them. It's not.
Yeah,
it's ours. And I have gone 3 times over the budget that Alex told me I could spend this year doing this, because this just rewind back a little bit. I just want to touch on something else in the matter. I've now been working for the Yates family for nearly a year and 3, 4, 5 months, and I've really felt like I found myself at home. It's
fantastic.
It's the least stressful job I've ever had, but also one of the most ones I've engaged in and then really enjoyed doing.
Mm-hmm.
Met so many different people and had such fun doing it. But one of the things that attracted me to actually going to work for him at the very beginning of this was his attitude towards how he wants to run his business. Mm-hmm. You're never really quite sure. People say these things to you, and you think, "Oh, this is just platitudes," or is this something that actually is a real thing? And he said that when someone comes to me with an idea, if we think it's got legs, we are going to push it. We'll go for it. We'll give you all the support you need. And you think, oh yeah. And there are people who will come up with ideas, and I really think a banana van in pink with brown spots would be fantastic. Okay.
You're not supposed to tell people about that.
Reject.
It's a secret.
but if you actually turn up with something that's not a bad idea, he will then turn around and say, "All right, go away and prove it to me." So then he wants you to go away and then do a load more bloody homework and actually turn up and actually do a presentation that says, right, this is what we're doing. This is what we could do. This is why I think we should have some regionals, because no one's buying 37 in Burgundy WS. These would, as soon as we put a picture up with that, those things would go through the roof. Guess what? The regional wagons, the regional coaches have been selling really well. Have been pre-ordering really well, because all of a sudden everyone's looking at EWS and going, "Ooh, there's something pretty I can push with that later.
I can have that.
I can join it up."
And joined up thinking.
That kind of thinking, I know there's
business.
A lot of people, and so that's been really exciting. What's been, I wouldn't say frustrating, I would probably more to say flattering, that since we announced this at the NEC, I was rushed off my feet at the NEC by talking to people, other manufacturers and other companies and retailers, and about the scale, about what they could do, what would I do, what is appropriate for me to promote for them, even though I work for another retailer. And I said, it's pretty simple. Alex has got some pretty simple rules. If we don't sell it, you can push it for someone else. So if the Shunting Model Centre bring out a 7-plank wagon, or Buggles Kelly Station brings out a 7-plank wagon, I can tell the PG Massive, Alex has no problem with that. It's not a product we're selling.
Yeah.
All right. It's helping the development of the scale. And it's that kind of attitude that I've really enjoyed. That's a
fantastic mentality.
Yeah, I've really, and it's surprising because he's so much younger than me. He's over 20 years younger than me. And it's the first young boss I've had that's not been a dick. apart from when he's drunk. apart from when he's drunk and he decides that we're on a rugby tour, not at a show, and he wants to lift you up in the bed, and like
some insider baseball there, or rugby.
we went to, or on the Hilton app off having towels sent to your room on the hour every half hour at 2 in the morning.
Went on tour.
Went on tour.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's been good, but there's I would say there's 5 or 6 other products or ideas that I personally think all have legs. Some of them are I think more promising than others, but then we also have to look at the economics. Some of them cost more than others, so it may not be the best idea that happens.
Yeah.
But our ethos going forward is, as I think in my video Ben Jones said, this scale's a blank sheet of paper. Let's try and get it right. Let's put some effort.
And I think that definitely is what's being done. And I, honestly, I labeled this jokingly. I labeled the stream as TT120 and why won't it die? And I think that's because there's a lot of passion. There seems to be a lot of passion with manufacturers right now, and with people in the hobby for the scale, and they don't want to let it die. And I think that's fantastic. Whoever said a year and a bit ago, almost 2 years ago now, that Hattons has disappeared, the hobby is dying, could not have been more wrong.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
And the Warnley show going, and the BRM gang, Phil and Debbie, really pulling out the stops. The first NEC show, it was a very good show for us as a retailer, but maybe the layout wasn't on the money, and it was a little bit disorganized, and
there was a
lot of the smaller retailers felt a little bit shoved to one side. But the layout this time I thought was superb. I thought the range of layouts of actual model railway layouts was fantastic. There was some amazing stuff on display. James Street, the N gauge layout. I mean, it's just you could spend hours. If you weren't trying to flog something, you could actually spend hours there.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. I really did want to do a video, but I just didn't have the time. But I wanted to go around and do a video, a bit like James from Most Signalman did, does, where you go around and read the notes and describe what's going on and show each one of the layouts. But I wanted to do it for all the other scales. What's that? It probably would be better for Chris if it wasn't it. No, it was great being next to Laurie, because I went through underneath and I pinched all their chocolate sweets. But I think it might be Lozzie's sweets. I'm not sure.
How many times did he ask you why is TT a thing?
No, Laurie. I actually get on very well with Laurie. I don't know anybody who doesn't get on who actually meets Laurie and knows him. I don't know of anyone who doesn't actually get on well with him, because he is quite a charmer, and he's not an idiot, and he's not offensive. You might get a little bit of the raw end of his banter sometimes, but
he's passionate.
Yeah, I'm 100%. Where was I? I was talking about something else.
Digressing a little.
Yeah. So I was going to film all the N gauge and all the 009 and the NG7 and the O and my little 120 and all the basically the Rebel Alliance, and then just for the 00 guys, I was going to go and do a bit of the play trains.
We'd love that. Yeah.
But that was my naughty idea, but I didn't have time. I
can imagine.
Just too busy being ignored by one particular YouTuber.
Look, while we're on the subject of Warnley, and before we quickly dive back to the production of these Mark IIs, because we're getting really close to being wrapped up. We're having such a good conversation. I'm starting to lose track of time. So Tom wants to know, Chris, Max, what are your highlights from Warnley? So a quick one or two from each of you on that, and then we can quickly jump back to production. So Max, quick highlight from Warnley, please.
Well, naturally, I'll mention how I was brought in to help with the Rail 200 layout, the modular layout, sticking all the modules together. Good grief, it all went together and it worked. So shout out to GLR Bespoke Services for providing the DCC system and the automation and making all that run. And
Fantastic.
what a delight to watch! Yeah, all these different trains, all these different modules.
Yeah, some really
Now-
really lovely stuff there.
My highlight was now, Max. Was it you who photographed me on the Pico stand?
Yes.
No, it was you, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
We've got that.
Because I got so mixed up. I took my Pico Rail 200 fail to have it photographed and back.
I thought the layout was fantastic, Chris.
I think the highlight would have probably been it was good. No. The highlight really was, I think, the fact that the vast majority of people I met there were thoroughly enjoying themselves, and they thought it was a really good show. And I personally think it was the best. I did 8 shows this year, and I thought it was the best show. I know that one of the things thrown at it is the price of parking. Well, do you know what? The train station pulls into the bloody plate, into the NEC. Go park at a train. Go park near a train station somewhere and get a train in.
Get a train in.
I mean, I don't know the economics, but it is nice that they've redone the lighting and things so that the photographs aren't orange anymore for anyone who went to Wally 20 years ago, like I did.
Showing your age there, Max.
Yeah. It was funny. Every picture. Oh wow, nice layout. It's just orange, just the picture.
Yeah.
So
fantastic. Okay, there you are. So, just one or two quick things here. So, Anthony says 72 quid for a second-hand buffet car for the Intercity HST. 4 packs are a great idea to build Rex. Yes, I think we mentioned this beforehand. Jan said that this is going back to the Mark II packs as well. Will give people the confidence to get into TT 120, to build and buy locos. I think that's exactly what it's going to do, and I think that's what it's already doing. The same. Charlie having an extensive range of rolling stock like this is excellent, rather than drip feeding the market. I think that's also a key thing as well. And so look, I wanted to go into a little bit of the whether there was some insider bits of the production or getting to the state of being able to announce these Mark IIs. Whether or not there was anything you were feeling confident or allowed, let's say, to divulge. Like, were there any hiccups? Were there any bits that maybe it got to a point where actually it might not have happened? Because it's something big like this. I can imagine that there was bits that were on the table and then suddenly they were off the table.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, without trying to blow my trumpet, at least I'm going to show you my trumpet.
Do it. Do it.
Although there's no way I could do this on my own. Couldn't have done this without Ben Jones and his knowledge and his design work and his research and the stuff they've done in their O gauge. I could have done it without the Yates family and their involvement and our investor. But it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have forced this. And it's taken 4 months to make it happen. These things don't. This was definitely something that I had to fight for and had to prove. The jury's still out. We don't know where the cliff is yet. When we say the cliff, we don't know when the pre-orders are going to stop.
Yeah.
All right. But I did sleep Monday night after the NEC show when I found out, when Alex sent me some data, and I can't go into details, obviously, but
no, of course.
But you're aware of TMC. You're aware that they've done retailer exclusives with lots of other different manufacturers and done some fantastic stuff. All right. Although for quite a few years now, they've done lots of exclusives, but this one, that weekend that we announced at the NEC, the immediate explosion of pre-orders for it broke all records.
I
and
can
we're
imagine.
talking broke records of 00
Yeah.
exclusives. It absolutely just blew us all out of the water. And the percentage that have been taken as pre-order so far, again, our jaws have dropped a bit. What we have to be very careful about, what we have to keep our feet on the ground for, is that there is a small, powerful kind of army of people taking TT120 seriously, who are so limited about what they can buy that they will go bang. I'm pre-ordering that. I'm pre-ordering that. The thing is, we don't know how many of them there are, so we don't know.
You're still waiting for that.
If for the drop off, we don't know. But we've got 18 months, and in that period, we've got lots of people joining the scale who are going to be looking around. Then hopefully looking at my social media content and other YouTubers. You just saw Mike Lane, and Anthony. There's a whole bunch of others, and my mate Mac Trains up in Scotland. They're doing some great content. They're doing some of the stuff that I don't have time for, like detailed reviews, looking at some of the stuff that the one man band guys who are doing 3D printed stuff are bringing those things out, and that's all a support and it's all a fill for what we're doing. So I'm confident, and I'm very, very confident about my next project. Please fill out the southern region.
No, I as I said before, I think it's doing very well for TT120 as a scale, and I think for the hobby in general. Quite honestly, So one last thing before we move on, I want to know, is there anything that you would have wanted to add to the range that you kind of couldn't, or maybe we could look forward to in the future if this does go well, and maybe there's an extension later. If you're at liberty to discuss it.
Yeah, because whether I have or haven't spoken to anybody is something that I'm not going to ever let out. But you do know I like a teaser, and people do like to read between the lines. Well, do you know what? Fine. Here we go. But you can go back to my earliest stuff on social media about me banging on about wanting EMUs and DMUs, basically because I think a multiple unit fits so well with this scale. The idea that you have you're trying to save space, you've got a small layout, you're on a small station, you really want to, I love the idea of having a Deltic pulling 9 coaches, but they're going to be on a big layout. And there are guys building big layouts, but there's a lot of people building small ones too. And DMUs work perfectly. Is Chris Tree a Nordman or a traditional spruce? I was told, I can't remember. Anyway, but definitely day one. It's been 3 years now. I am pushing to bring out a reasonable regional covering, a reasonable era covering, more than one unit DMU. It's got to be at least 2, maybe 3. Bringing that whole train in a pack thing, bringing that together. That's my raison d'être. That's what I'm trying to do.
Fantastic.
If you look back at one of my earlier videos, I got hold of the little. I think it's made by Roco now. They were made by a different company. It's a little German rail car. Is it we call it a rail bus or rail car? I can't remember. Single unit DMU.
Trolley bus, rail bus, yeah.
And I decided to repaint it all in Northern, and I love it. And when I first put a HM7000 decoder on it, I had a 60. The only sound file I could put in it was a 66.
Oh wow!
So this beast of an engine, but now Hornby have brought out some DMU, so now it sounds more. But it's an absolute beast.
Cold start in the rail bus. Fantastic.
A big shed sound coming out of it. But yeah, that was cool. But yeah, I won't stop until I've got early DMUs. I would love an EMU, but an EMU, it's that can't come first.
Well, yeah, it
think-
opens up a whole new thing. You've got to have layouts with catenary then. And
Oh,
Yeah,
don't start with
gosh.
detailed catenary.
And I'd love us to.
I struggle with chairs.
I would love to bring something like I don't know. I do love the more modern stuff. I like the 700s. I like the the stuff we ride on now. It's on the lines I rode on when I was a kid. When I was riding a 313, now you get on there, it's a 700, and it's sort of. But yeah, that stuff is important to me. I think it's important to other people. I know that about over 60% of my subscribers are down in London and the southeast. I know that there are the ones in the Kent and Surrey who seem to think that third rail is important.
Is it?
It lives underground. That's where third rail should be. Coat hangers unite.
Coat hangers unite. No,
sorry,
I'll
is
stick
that
with
is
the
that
diesels, thank you.
tube trains in TT confirmed? You mean? Or
You got
Ooh.
I don't know if we can persuade Underground Eric to get on board.
Oh, I don't know. Let him finish this layout first. So actually, that's helped me sort of tangent into what I wanted the last proper question to be of this the discussion. God, I need to spit my words out today. What would you want to see? What do you think is needed in the hobby? So of course we know you've got EMUs from yourself, but is there anything else that you think is needed in the schedule?
Yeah, I think that the original idea seems to somehow have been lost. There was an original idea about the fact that TT120 is a good idea because it's a continental scale, an international scale, and I certainly think that Revolution, when I've spoken to Ben and Mike, that they really want to consider something like stuff that goes onto ferries and stuff that has some kind of life in Europe.
Yep.
And it has worked well for Hornby. They've brought out the Arnold, under the Arnold banner. They've got the German 66s with big fans on top, and is it the 70? That's like a 66. There's another one with another number that's very much like it in DB livery. But there's a lot of that.
But yeah.
Of course, they did that.
Yeah. But I like to see it come the other way as well. I want to see, I want to see some of the more modern Eurostars.
Yes.
Because in the next 10 years, we're likely to see stuff that goes from Paddington all the way through deeper into mainland Europe, other than just Gare du Nord. Going through to Belgium and Germany and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they've got the double deckers that are coming in now. So like that's to me that's prime. Like, hey, jump on the wagon now. People are going to be using that. And
that kind of link between what the UK manufacturers and the more continental manufacturers are doing, I think that can only be a good thing to actually sort of make this work, to spread that market. Got plenty of guys in Germany and France and Spain who are building British outline. There's plenty of people in the UK building European outline.
Continental stuff.
Yes, why not? They are linked. That's it. We've got a tunnel. We are linked. The rail networks are linked.
I would love to see a representation of that link. I think TT120. I know that in is it in Folkestone, where they have the main hub for the Eurostar. There's actually a model.
Yeah.
Of the thing. I don't know if it's operational or not, but to see
but in TT it would still be massive.
Oh, I know.
I mean, in Endgame it would still be massive.
We're waiting for your proof of concept of a no plywood softwood layout, and then we'll know if it's possible or not.
Wasn't there an old saying that if you made Waterloo in 00 to scale, it'd be the size of a tennis court?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Fantastic. What about you, Max? What do you think's missing? What do you think needs to come up?
So, one thing it sort of brought up earlier was that with the initial launch of Hornby's range, I noticed there was a lot of wagons, all the different types of wagons, and the brake van that was very popular, but there was nothing really to go on the front. So with nothing to pull it all. And of course, there's Pico with the 7 planks as well, but just sort of more mixed traffic. Freight seems to be too much to ask at this point, but still like to see it. But just more locomotives to put in front of the
5MT.
wagons.
Why isn't there
Standard.
okay.
Why wouldn't
I
standard
don't know
go
why
out
there's
of the
not-
original launch?
I don't know why
Given-
there isn't Great Western, but when I was a kid growing up, my main motive power was my Prairie, right? Because that did everything. I could pull whatever I wanted with it, and I wouldn't get told off by my dad, right? Who was seriously into his GWR. So he didn't mind if I had some chocolate and cream coaches being pulled by my Prairie, or some wagons being pulled by my Prairie. So
That's it.
that
Yeah, something
a
for both.
workhorse, and I think that 5MT. Why not? It's just why not?
Well, I was thinking the 2MT, because that's something that Hornby have recently done
yeah,
in
They've
Double
recently
O.
done in Double O.
They've got that research. I know it's very much easier said than done than saying that, but given
Yeah.
that that's influenced TT previously for
I mean,
them.
I would love an A80, but
Yeah.
but sorry, an A8, not an A80, an A8. Too much whiskey, sorry. But everyone would go, oh, it's too much linear, which is why I think maybe
Well, I
something.
mean, yeah.
V2s, there's a solid
V2s.
go anywhere, do anything.
V2s.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm falling back on the recently tooled or recently brought back out or updated or whatever. But you've got the castles. They brought out the A1s, the A3s, and the A4s. A castle, with
really-
whatever stuff they've got in. I think
There's
it's
this really kind of weird thing that I found out this past year is I have not spoken to a manufacturer who thinks it's a good idea to do GWR. But I have spoken to countless people who are consumers who want it.
Well, look
And I
at
don't-
Double
Well, yeah,
O
it's
exhibition
why it
layouts.
It's a stereotype for a reason.
Yeah.
The Great Western branch line, because this is what
There's a BLT everywhere.
with what we've talked about this evening. There's a lot of sort of mainline and secondary mainline focus, and I think you can still have that, but just more trains to have that junction and the branch line off somewhere. Maybe the branch line terminus up on a shelf or something.
Yeah.
Just a bit more variety.
The
Something to
feedback I
really
get
use
is that
it
it's
being a
too
small
old.
scale.
The feedback I get is that, sorry to talk over you, Max. The feedback
all
we're running out of time.
Yeah, it's fine.
But the feedback I get is that it's of its time. It's the when shows were full of it in the 80s and 90s, and they don't think it's something that it's not back in fashion again, but it still seems really bizarre. I think there are elements of the manufacturing or this industry, not the hobby but the industry, who think that people will buy anything, and it's true to a certain extent. They will buy.
Yes.
There are one or two things they will buy anything of, and you cannot tell me that a pannier tank is not one of those things.
I think this was my criticism at the beginning. I would have thought a pannier tank with the wagons that they that was released on launch and stuff that they had in their in their range, their list of things that were coming up, knowing full well that companies like Pico would have jumped on the bandwagon and done wagons first. To me, that was a no-brainer.
And a pannier tank in TT120 definitely wide enough and long enough to put a Next 18 decoder in, so we don't have to piss about with this disastrous 6-pin that they brought out.
Right. Yeah.
Right, that's it. We're time to go now. He's here. So there you have it. There you are. So EMUs, class
DMUs.
59, EMUs, DMUs, a class 59 for Max and a pannier tank for me. There you are. Will be sold. So there we are. So Chris, I want to thank you very much for joining us and talking with TT120 again. I'm sorry to keep you on
Always
the bell.
a pleasure.
To get you here. We're going to have you back, of course, as always. Before we run off here, I'm just going to jump in here. Community shout out this week goes to SHGP Media. I have become engrossed in his individual layout tours and of course all the shows that he goes to every year. Some fantastic camera work and showcasing of layouts and shows. I
First,
stick them
sorry,
in the
James,
background and go
James,
background.
James, he was the
Hit me.
first YouTuber that did a proper video of my layout at its first show at Doncaster at the beginning of the year.
There you are. Even more reasons. So
There's an endorsement.
there's an endorsement if you haven't had one. So I put a link to his channel in the description below. If you aren't subbed already, go put it on in the background while you're doing your modeling or while you're working or something, and have a peek. Some fantastic camera work there. And just a sneak peek at what's coming next week. So Rob and Charlie will be back next week talking about younglings in the hobby. My original title was rejected. It was young, dumb, and looking for fun.
Yeah, no.
So next week, Rob and Charlie will be back with Sam, King Ori, and Zach from 71D, and they'll be talking about being young, getting into modeling, getting into the hobby, and all the different aspects that come along with that. So mark that in your calendars. Hit the notification on that, as the link is already up on stream, and look out for the funny reels that Charlie and Rob will be putting out in the coming week. Not really much else to go on there. Any final thoughts on TT, lads, before we knock off now?
It's going to take over the world.
It's going to take over the world. I'm really worried. Seriously, you pulled in so many people over the last few weeks. I'm genuinely
Can I give you an insider tip?
Don't talk to you.
Flog your HO now, while for the second-hand market collapses. Because as soon as everyone starts flogging it, it'll be all worth nothing. Those
Hilton's
aren't the
hinting. Hilton's hinting at a reel.
You want to buy these models?
That is not the scale you're looking for. And it's on that chaotic bombshell I think we're going to drop off here. So thank you very much, Max, for joining me. Chris, again, thank you for joining us back. We'd love to have you back as well. Probably for something other than TT, just to mix it up a bit with you. See if we can convince you to do something else, maybe.
All this time convincing us to do TT, we need to convince you to do a different scale.
If I was going to do something else, because I've already dabbled in O gauge, I think I'll probably do NG7.
Yeah.
Why not? It looks right.
Rob?
It looks good. It's easy to model. It's like crunch and stick model making, isn't it? Because it's all really big, so you don't have to put your special glasses on to look at it.
I know a company that did some really nice rolling stock kits to sort of bolster the Hunslets. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't say.
Nice little quarryman's coaches and things like that.
Do you want one last little kind of little nugget?
A little teaser.
One of my teasers.
Ooh, go on,
Doing
man.
some investigation for a customer recently. Where they wanted to check some measurements on a particular product, and it was a Wills kit product. I'd actually be interested in this. And are you familiar with the SS80? That is the.
I'm glad you said 80 after
Adds
that.
a tab.
It's the Viaduct Wills kit, which is based on the Settle Carlisle style of viaducts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's described as a 00HO, but I'd seen for example, I had been up close and personal to the one at DCC Concepts, their Ribblehead they've got there, and I was thinking this is not the same size as those, because Ribblehead, although it's really long, a lot of those structures are all the way up that Settle Carlisle in smaller sets of arches. I was thinking, this is bizarre. This is really. I know that HO00 is quite often compromised with its structures because they start just too big.
Mm-hmm.
But I took the measurements of it, and I've got a bunch of measurements from Network Rail when they were fixing Ribblehead, and the Wills kit is the 120 TT120 version of Ribblehead. It's bizarre how accurate representation there is in 1:120.
Oh.
It's absolutely bizarre.
I don't know how many things there are in history, because I found that Sidney Pritchard dabbled in TT120 briefly.
It could be. I mean, it's remarkable actually how close it is. Although the brickwork is closer to 1 to 136. So the brickwork is
we're getting to decimals now.
So the brickwork is closer to N gauge than actually OOHO. But yeah, that's a thought for anyone. If anyone was building a 16-foot single board and they wanted a 14-foot viaduct on it, there's a thought.
There's a thought. There you
So
go.
how many of them are going to be around on the circuit now?
Watch this space.
You've built Ribble. You've built Ribble.
Everybody's built Ribble. Fantastic. Well, there you are. You heard it here first. He's not going to be building that. No.
Christ, can you imagine how many kits I'd need? It's like
Ching. Yeah.
ridiculous amount of kits.
Well, there you've had it. TT120, it's not going to die. It's not going to disappear anytime soon. And let's hope for some more good stuff in the future. And I hear Hilton is probably going to fall onto the bandwagon very, very soon. He's the next one. He's going to be the next one.
Well, I think he wants me to bring out if the Mark IIs are popular, and if we do have obviously an option to extend how many we order. That timeline is not that far away. You've got to make a decision quite early.
Yep.
But I think the most asked for livery that we didn't do, ScotRail.
ScotRail.
Which
Something about Scotland.
It's something that Hilton would probably obviously be very. But I'll only do it if Hilton promises to buy 10 packs.
Ooh.
Can't he model the North Wales coast? Mix
Don't
it up
tell
a bit,
Annie.
this 37 stuff.
They don't do whiskey there.
Trap. It's always something.
There's always something.
Oh, Penderyn's Penderyn whiskey from Wales is quite nice.
Is it?
Yeah. Have you tried it?
Maybe. I might have drunk too much of it.
Some of the longest stuff that's been in the barrel for longer I think is pretty good. It's getting almost as good as some of the Bushmills stuff. It's a sweet whiskey. It's sherry casks. If you like your rough peat Highland stuff that rips back your throat, then it probably wouldn't be your cup of tea.
Probably not for you. Yeah.
But if you like your stuff flavoured and coloured by Spanish barrels, then I think maybe Penderyn could win.
Food for
So
thought
how many
there.
whiskey brands?
Whiskey for thought.
How many whiskey brands are going to be plastered on the side of a TT van at some point?
Many.
I've got the idea. I've got the idea for one or two of them.
Watch this space.
You know where to send them.
Yes. Hilton! Right. I'm going to say thank you very much to everybody in the chat. I'm going to say thank you to Chris and Max again for joining me. And next week, look out for Rob, Charlie, Sam, and Zach. And we will see you in the future. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you
Merry
next Thursday.
Christmas.
No, we're not there yet.
Is that the magpie? Merry Christmas.
Bar humbug. Bar humbug, everybody. Take it easy. Good night.
Bye.